There's a strange kind of silence that doesn't feel empty. It feels heavy, it lingers, and no matter how busy life gets, one presence keeps returning to the mind, uninvited, persistent, impossible to ignore. When someone is badly missing you, they don't always call, they don't always text. Sometimes they disappear, not because they don't care, but because caring hurts too much. Psychology shows that the deepest longing often hides behind restraint, avoidance, and emotional withdrawal. The heart remembers what the ego tries to forget. And when someone can't have you, can't reach you, or can't face what they feel, you begin to live in their thoughts instead. If you've felt a sudden emotional echo, an unexplainable pull, or a sense that someone is thinking of you intensely, this isn't imagination. This is the sign no one talks about. There is one way to know someone is badly missing you, and it has nothing to do with messages, likes, or sudden appearances. It begins with resistance. When someone misses you deeply, the first thing they try to do is fight it. They distract themselves, they stay busy, they convince themselves they're fine. But the mind doesn't obey commands when the heart hasn't healed. What they resist starts returning in quieter, stronger ways. Your memory begins to surface in ordinary moments, not dramatic ones, small ones, a pause, a familiar sound, a certain time of day, and suddenly you're there, without invitation. Psychologically, this happens because emotional bonds don't dissolve through distance. They dissolve through processing, and when someone avoids processing the loss of you, the emotion turns inward. It becomes pressure. That pressure changes behavior. They grow quieter, more distant from others, less present in conversations, because a part of their attention is constantly elsewhere, looping through moments, words, and feelings they never resolved with you. Someone who is badly missing you will withdraw, not reach out. This is where the sign becomes visible. They avoid places, topics, or situations that remind them of you, yet think about you anyway. The mind tries to protect itself from pain by controlling exposure, but the heart doesn't follow rules, so the longing leaks through cracks. At night, this becomes worse. The brain, no longer distracted, replays emotional memories more intensely. Studies in emotional psychology show that suppressed attachment resurfaces strongest during rest, when defense mechanisms drop. That's why thoughts of you arrive late at night or early morning, when resistance is weakest. They may even convince themselves they're over you. But if they were, your absence wouldn't still feel loud. Another sign appears in their emotional reactions. They become unusually sensitive, irritated, nostalgic, or suddenly introspective. Missing someone doesn't always look like sadness. It often looks like unexplained emotional shifts. The body reacts before the mind admits the truth. You see, when someone misses you badly, they're not just missing you, they're missing who they were when they felt connected to you. And that's harder to replace. They compare others without meaning to. Conversations feel flat, connections feel shallow, because once the nervous system recognizes a certain emotional depth, it doesn't easily accept substitutes. This creates inner conflict. Part of them wants to reach out. Another part fears reopening wounds, rejection, or loss of control. So they choose silence. Not because they don't care, but because caring still has power over them. And here's the most important part. When someone is badly missing you, your energy becomes familiar to their emotional system. That's why you may suddenly feel them, out of nowhere. A mood shift, a thought that isn't yours, a sudden memory that carries weight. Emotional bonds don't end cleanly. They echo. Psychologist Carl Jung once suggested that unresolved emotional connections remain active in the unconscious. That's why distance doesn't equal disconnection. It simply changes the form. So if you've noticed a sense of emotional pull without contact, understand this. Absence doesn't mean you were forgotten. Sometimes it means you mattered too much to face. The sign isn't pursuit. The sign is restraint paired with inner turbulence. And when someone finally stops fighting that feeling, when the heart grows tired of pretending, that's when things shift. But until then, you live quietly in their mind.